Alright, how's it going, guys? We're going to take some time today and we're going to learn how to make some maker coins. I apologize, it's a little dark in here today. My lights and everything aren't wanting to work right. So I've got the office completely set up. Been living in this apartment 2 months and I still been working on that. So, let's start off with making some maker coins. What is a maker coin? Well, a maker coin is a item that you can hand out at conventions, just kind of show off what you make. Also a great way to test your filament and get the settings dialed in to see if printer's working right and your filament's working right. So I have something like, let me get a little bit better one. This one was one of my quick prints. Ugh. I'm making a whole bunch of these for my wife. She's using these in her class as reward items. So we have something like this guy. Where this one is double-sided. I still need to do a little cleanup on it to get rid of the residue from the glue left over that I used to do the bed. So yeah, but doesn't look like anybody is hanging out with us tonight, so let's get right into this and just do the maker coin video. First off, I always start with a sketch. For those of you who don't recognize this, this is Autodesk Fusion 360. Great little product. It's free. One thing I always will say is if you go into the preferences, check the default model orientation so that the Z-axis is up. That way when you import it into your slicer, you don't have to do a lot of editing. Okay, let's just rough this out real quick. Let's take and let's make it, let's go 10 by 5 by 10, and we'll close this off. Zoom in here. Let's take and also create an arc, and let's do a 3-point arc. One here, and let's kick this out so it's, I like that. Let's also do another little arc, but let's do a tangent arc. We want it here. I don't like that. Let's try that again. Alright, let's go and let's start this about 1.5 millimeters down from this there. And then let's start it there. maybe. Let's try this again. That's not what we want. We want let's just do a 2-point arc, a 3-point arc, and do let's take it and make it look let's also take, let's see if I can move this. Nope, don't need that. Now that we kind of know what we want it to look like, let's kind of fix this a little bit, because I like that, but I also don't like how close that was to the edge. So when you're making maker coins or designing maker coins, one thing I always tell a lot of people and students that you want to make sure this is going to fit in a pocket. And what I mean by that is you don't want to be carrying around this big giant maker coin that doesn't fit in a pocket. So yeah. It's going to be one of those things where if it doesn't fit in a pocket, nobody wants to carry it. You can hear in the background my 2-year-old who is currently not wearing clothes. Go watch your movie, buddy. Sorry about that, guys. Alright. So, this is okay for now. So let's stop the sketch. Return to the regular view. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go create. And then we want to do a revolution. And that's where we just select this and this. Choose the axis. And we want to choose the main axis, the z-axis. It'll give us a nice little preview of what it looks like before we commit to the change, which I don't know about you guys, but I like it. I like it a lot. Alright. We're done messing with that. Let's hit OK. And everything looks to be pretty good to me. So let's take now and let's do a quick sketch add on to there. I want to take it and I want to have this come in to right about there. Stop sketch. And now we're going to extrude this sketch so that it comes up. Right. Let's try that again. We're going to extrude the sketch so that it comes up and it cuts right into the face. And now what we're going to do with this is we want to create a pattern. So we want to do a circular pattern. We choose that object, and then the axis is going to be the z-axis again. And how does 12 seems too many. 10, 10. I kind of like 8. So you can get a slight preview of where all the ones are going to be placed. And we just hit OK. And now that's done. But if you ask me, that's not, that doesn't look very good. So I like to go through and round over the edges of everything. And let's see if we can get this to actually, let's not round it over. Let's do something different for me. Let's chamfer the edges on these. Since we have 2 here, we can kind of see before we do it how a chamfer is going to look. And behind me, as you notice, I'm paying attention to my Prusa i3 and K2S 3D printer because I am printing out maker coins, and it just pulled the filament off the roll, so I'm going to have to stop right here for a second. If you excuse me, we are going to stop this, and I'm going to pause right here, and I'm going to go take care of that. Excuse me a second. All right, we are back. Sorry about that, guys. Didn't mean to do that. I knew I was getting low, and it's one of those things. It just happens. Eventually, I'm going to start streaming on Twitch. Sorry, my chair has this habit of trying to kill me. But as of right now, I'm not streaming on Twitch. All right, so let's take. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to just save this one and keep it how it is. All right. Now, I am very ag-oriented, and I am very tool-oriented. So I think for this coin, what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to Insert, SVG, and we're going to come into my SVGs, and we're going to insert, I have a hammer and wrench. That's very maker-esque for me. I'm going to take that one as soon as I can find it. Right here, hammer and wrench SVG. Open that up. We are going to take and get that inserted. Every once in a while it takes a couple of tries to do this. And I don't know what's going on with my mouse right now. Alright, we'll try this the hard way. Insert SVG. We're going to do it on the base plane. We're going to bring in the hammer and wrench SVG. We're going to zoom out. You can see how large that brings that in. So let's take and let's bring this down to right about there. Now move it in. Now let's zoom in a little bit. And let's try and get this kind of centered. And let's move this down a hair. Right. So you know what? Let's make this a hair larger. So we're going to cut this out of the center of the coin. There we go. We're going to take and set this right about here. Okay, there we go. Actually, let's make this just a hair larger. Right about there. Okay. Hit stop sketch. We rotate around. And for that, we're going to take and cut the wrench and the hammer out. And you just pull it up till it cuts through. The piece, the extrusion will turn red, and it'll say over in the extrude piece, cut. There's a couple different options: join, cut, intersect, but we want to cut, so we're going to do that. So yeah, that's sorry about that. Parenting issues. I am at home alone, parenting my kids while making videos. So yes, it can be done. All right, I'm going to turn the slide on back here. And it doesn't do much good. Okay. Sorry, I thought it might help. I'm getting a whole bunch of light from this lamp over here and nothing from that back one. Eventually I'm going to set up a lighting system in here to bounce a little bit more natural light in here. But as of right now, I'm not got that set up. Okay, so let's go back to Fusion. Now, those with keen eyes will notice this piece out here is just kind of floating there. And what I want to do is I want to go back into the sketch, because I kind of messed up when I did that sketch, when I did that extrusion. Yes, I made a mistake. And this piece right here, I want to bring that up. And let's just do intersect. Oh, cancel. Actually, let's go back to, let's just step back to that extrusion real quick so I can show you what I messed up on. Okay. So, I selected the center of this when actually I didn't want to do that. So we're going to go back to this. You'll notice before I even do this that over where it says operation on the extrude bar that it is new body until you start to touch the object that you're working on, the body that you're working on, and then it'll say join until you start to pierce through it and it says cut. So we've done that. We are cutting through there. But then again, we have this here. It's just kind of floating there. And that's not good. So to make this look like a wrench and to kind of hide that, let's take and let's create a cylinder. And let's create a cylinder on this axis. And we're going to take and we're going to create it right there, and we're going to take it and we're going to make it about, most layer heights are, this is going to be printed at a 0.1 layer height, so we can get anywhere in between there we want. I always like to set myself up to print at a 0.2 layer height just in case. So you want objects to be thick enough that it's not going to be messed up when you're designing it for that 0.2 layer height. So let's say we have a 0.2 and we want a, let's go 1.6, nope, 1.6, hit enter. And now we zoom around and we want to make this, let's say 10 millimeters long, and actually, you know what? Let's make this 0.4 millimeters thick. It's pretty thin. Okay, let's zoom over this just so I can see if that's going to work. Let's go top-down view. I think that should work. Let's hit OK. Now let's take, we'll select that body, go to Modify, and Move. There are some easier methods to doing this, but this is my method. like one of my favorite channels, Odin Makes. There are many ways to do this, but this is how Odin makes. Well, here at Doing to Learn, we believe there are many ways to do something. That does not make our way right nor wrong. But this is how we choose to do it, so that's how we do things. Okay. Make sure that's there. Hit OK. And now we want to take and modify that and come over here to bodies. So if we're looking, we have 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we can make these all one piece. Right click and let us take and I remember there's a way, I just can't remember how to do it. Alright. Oh, combine. There we go. Alright, now they are all one piece, and that's down inside there so that it should hold the coin together. And actually, I've combined those together, and I'm looking at this. I think that'll be good enough. I think that's good enough. Because that is always good enough. Alright, now one of the things I want to do. We left this base as kind of this flat surface, which is all fine and dandy. It's really nice. I like to have a flat surface when I'm printing. But I want to take, and I think that I am going to curve these in just a hair. So I'm going to do a fillet, which gives everything a rounded curve. And we're going to move everything in by 0.5. Let's go 1.5. Let's see if we can go 1.5 millimeters in. Okay. Oof. That does not look good. Let's see how 1 millimeters looks. That doesn't look half bad. Gives a nice little setup. So yeah. I would be happy to hand those out. We're going to do a little bit of branding on these. So we're going to do a sketch and text. Right there. That's kind of going to be where we want to do this. Sketch, text. Thank you. And the text is going to be D2L. Let's go 180 degrees from there. Height of 5 millimeters. Nope, can't do 5. D2L. And let's do 3. Alright, let's move this over so we can actually see what's going on. Alright, so that's all fine and dandy right there, but we want it right about there. Bolded. so that it looks good. Actually, let's move these back to right about there. Hit OK. Stop sketch. So that's now sitting on top of there. We're going to take and we're going to extrude that down. And I want a side view of this so I know exactly how far down into this we are going. Let's go about 1.25. It puts it in there a little ways, gets us everything going. Now, one thing to think about with this, and something I'm going to warn everybody of right now, because actually 1.5 will give us a little bit more depth to it. Let's do 2.5, never mind. You can kind of get in here and see that the L isn't really going to come off all that awesome at 0.25. So let's do 3.5. 4.0. There we go. Nope, 4.5 it is. You can see that right in this area down here, you can see the L is going to be indented just a tiny bit, and we'll be okay. All right. Hit OK. And every time you see that and you hit OK, it takes and just makes those sketches disappear. But you can turn them all back on by just hitting the light bulb next to them. So we have our coin branded on one side. We could brand it on the other side, but I don't want to do that. So yeah, there we go. All right. Have any questions, leave a comment and I will get back to you.